Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today I want to talk about a very interesting topic. It is the value of not thinking. And I feel like it almost sounds contradictory to what I do because a lot of what I do as a coach is helping clients think intellectually and help them think intentionally. And so when I talk about like the value of not thinking, it just sounds like the opposite, but it is so important for creating massive success. I think that oftentimes a lot of the time that we spend in our lives in overwhelm and chaos and burnout and busyness is because we are overthinking, overcomplicating things. I have so many conversations with so many clients where they're just like, okay, what about this and this and this? And I'm like, what if it was just this? What if it was just this one thing? What if it was as simple as that? And so the value of not thinking comes down to this idea of like, I don't spend any time thinking about the things that don't help me. And this was like this topic or this idea was sparked because I was having a conversation with my husband, and it was like on just like a very challenging topic is what I would say. And it was so interesting because at the end of the conversation, he had asked me a question of like, how would XYZ have even been possible? Like, that's what he's like, that was a question he asked. And I was like, I didn't spend any time thinking about that, so I don't know. And that made me realize that so much of people's peace and joy and freedom is stolen by us spiraling down and thinking about things that are not helpful. Like the topic of conversation that we were having, I was like, I'm not going to spend any time even indulging in those thoughts and those beliefs and those possibilities because none of those things are what I want. None of those things are helpful. And so this is really to just offer to you, what in your life have you been thinking about and spiraling down and thinking of like, it could be this and it could be that. And, there's value in going spiraling down negative spirals if you know what to do in those circumstances. If you know, I am doing this so that I can come out of it. And that's going to be the next podcast episode. But so many people don't have that skill. So when they spiral down, it's not even helpful. And oftentimes, most of the spirals that we go down are not helpful. Even if you know what to do at the end, at the bottom of the spiral, you don't like it's most of the time it's not helpful. And so I just wonder, like, what in your life right now have you been thinking about again and again and again? Like, what are the stories that you're replaying in your mind again and again and again? And what can you stop thinking about? And I don't say stop thinking about it as in just ignore it and shove it down. But what in your life can you really just be like, that literally does not matter, so I'm going to let it go? I just want you to spend a second. You can pause this podcast episode, or there will be many pauses for you. And I think that for most of you, you probably have an idea of like, yeah, I've been thinking about this thing 24/7 and it's not helping me. So I want you to ask yourself, if you stopped thinking about this thing, how much time would you get back of your mental capacity, of that mental load that you have been taking on thinking about this thing that is no longer serving you? How much time would you have back? How much emotional, mental capacity would you have because you decided to not spend any time thinking about that thing? And what could you do with all of that time and energy and mental, emotional, spiritual capacity now that will actually help you, that will actually serve you? And this is the part of like creating sustainable success. It's like, I'm not just sharing random things that I come up with. All of these things that I share with you are meant to help you to create this sustainable success. And a piece of sustainable success in your life, your business, your career, your parenting journey, your relationships, it doesn't matter where you want to create success. It's in order to do that, you have to be so self-aware. And a part of that self-awareness is being aware of the thoughts that we're thinking, being aware of the sentences that we're saying to ourselves day in and day out, the stories that we are replaying in our minds that are not helpful. And only you get to decide if they're helping you or not. I don't get to sit here and be like, well, that's not helping you and that's not helping you, right? Sometimes clients invite me into that and I just ask them, is that helping you? Is that serving you? And if it is, amazing. If it's not, then you get to decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep believing that? Do you want to keep thinking that? Or do you want to change? Only you have that power. And you get to decide right now, what are all the things that I'm spending so much time dwelling on? What can I let go? What can I release? So that I can have more room and more capacity for all of the other things that give me so much joy and peace and freedom.